Good morning, good morning. I am just bringing this up on the iPad. Hopefully it will not be an issue, although it seems like every week there's a different issue. All right, well, let's get going. So for everybody watching this later, please do a hashtag replay so I know that you're here. But my name, Tony Tesler, and today I'm going to show you just 3 Christmas cards. I know last week in the video I said this was going to be the last Thursday in July, and that is not true because I didn't have the calendar in front of me. But we're still doing Christmas stuff today. And just a few like quick ones. Although we're doing some embossing. So for this first one, I'm going to use Perfectly Plaid and Itty Bitty Christmas. Now these are the same sets that I used in my Christmas in July cards class, but this card is not the same from that kit. So none of this will be a repeat for anybody that got that. Let me put this here. All right, so we've got the trees and the punch, and I like this plaid tree, so that's what we're gonna use. I've already got that mounted. And then Itty Bitty Christmas. Let me dump these off. So what I like to do is create like a little corner here with all different greetings, and then we'll just punch out one of the trees and pop that up. And then I've got some of the enamel dots in here. And this is the new in color. This is Just Jade. So actually I'm gonna do this in pink because I do like some alternative, non-traditional color Christmas cards once in a while. So that's what we're gonna do. Only we're gonna change the colors up. So I'm starting with, hey Deborah, happy Thursday. I'm starting with, this is the thick Whisper White, and I tell you, when I score this, I go like 3 times pretty gently just so it doesn't crack. And that applies to any cardstock that's, like 110 pound, 100 whatever, the thick stuff. Because sometimes if you just like press it down, you're gonna get those crack marks on the side, and that's no good. Okay, let me make sure I clean this from the green. I would not want to mix that with my magenta madness. Okay. So I've got a piece of Whisper White trimmed down. This is 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm gonna start with the little greetings. And I just kind of have to eyeball, like, this is where I'm gonna put the tree. So I want greetings like all in this area. Now I mount them 2 to a block, just on opposite sides. The only thing you have to be careful of is sometimes when we ink, we don't realize that we push it down to the side. So just be careful of that, because you don't want ink down here, because if you're pushing it down here on the ink pad, you're gonna push it down here. Then you're gonna get a not very nice stripe. All right, now let's also do some stamping off. I like that lighter pink. I don't think I've done that yet with the lighter. Oh, I like that. All right, let me get one over here and one more over there. All right, back to it. Peace and happiness, Christmas cheer, done with those. Let me do some happy holidays. And I can see that's not really on as straight as I want, but that's okay. I just gotta keep track of it. Yeah, spinning wheel of frustration. That's totally what it is. Yep. And apparently it's something different every week, Virginia. So that's the game we play now. Yeah. All right, so we've got that, our word stamp. Now this, I just need a little scrap so I can stamp this tree and punch it out. Oh yeah, I like this. I like pink and purple for Christmas cards. Non-traditional colors. I don't know why, but I just think they're pretty. right, so now I'm going to take my pine tree punch and get in here. Let that fly. Down. Now I'm just going to pop this up with some dimensionals, regular size. And then I'm going to pop this layer up too with dimensionals, with like a lot. All right, so I'm going to mount this layer onto our card base, and hopefully that looks straight. Yep. And then I'll put the tree on. And I didn't worry that, you know, I'm covering some of that up. So if I had some bald spots, it's okay. So I'm just going to put this right down here. I love it. So when I use these enamel dots, I quickly found out I can't just jab into them like I would do with regular rhinestones. So normally I would take my tool and jam it up under here. Can't do that with these because it will slice the top right off. So what you have to do, these are on plastic, you have to like bend it till you hear a pop. I heard that, but I know nobody else did. So put that on there. So we just have to bend it up so it like comes off that plastic a little bit first, gets going. And then let's do one more. I do like them, but I did not like finding that out. Ooh, 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 yeah, I love it. All right, let me bring these back. So this one, this was the Just Jade. This is Magenta Madness. I love them both. Yeah, but I am leaning towards the pink. I know that's not Christmassy, but I love it. All right. Number 2. So for this one, I decided to use some of the pre-cut cards, the in color cards, and then I've got the designer paper stack, so I cut that down. So these come 10 to a pack, so you get 2 in each color. So I've used all the Misty Moonlight ones. But you cut down a piece of designer paper 4x6 and it fits perfect. So they do that because you can also use the Memories and More cards. So yeah, thank God, Deborah. Usually I'm not like such a tool bag with the IT stuff, but this is the iPad. That's been a learning curve for me. I will admit that's not in my wheelhouse. All right. So I've got my designer series paper. I'm actually going to use this side because I want to do some embossing. So all this card is, I mean, it's pretty simple other than some die cutting, but so we've got our designer paper. I'm going to do a little bit of silver embossing. I've pre-cut actually 2 shapes. So this shape is the one that I use. This is from the Wild Rose dies. And then this is from my latest favorite, Tasteful Labels. And I embossed both of these with the the textiles folder. So you can see that. I like both and they're both about the same size. So actually maybe I'll use this one this time. So have you noticed this layered joy to the world? This is from the new holiday catalog, and I love words because I feel like you can do a lot with them, but I really love that this had matching dies with it. And where did those go? So it's got, there's like 3, the dies are called Joy. Get that out of the way. And actually I thought I'd show you how I store my dies too. But it's got layers, so there's 2 pieces, You can stamp and cut the word out. And then this is the layer that goes around it. Then they've also got the words in teeny tiny font that you could then cut out again, like maybe in foil or something that would stand out. And that could go on top. So I'm going to do more with that. Today I'm just going to use the stamping and the outline ones. But as far as storing, I don't keep my folders in the plastic envelopes. I keep them on these magnetic sheets that they used to go in an art bin holder, but I don't like opening that thing and, you know, rooting through everything all the time. So I still use the magnet sheets, but I keep them in a box stored upright. And then I put the label up the top. So then I just, you know, flip through my dies. But these I will store them on like this. And it's easier for me to find what I need looking at this title. And sometimes I'll have two sets on one. So eventually I may scooch these all over and then I'll put another label over here and get something on that other side. But for now, this is all I need. May move it later. And then I just throw this away. I was throwing away the plastic sleeves, but then if I go to sell them later, sometimes people, they want the sleeve. So I'll just file this, which is on the floor for right now. So that's how I store them. Oh, but I need these two. Okay. So let's get to, I love the big fonts of this, and then I like these little ones, because this reminds me of the old-timey punch labels, you know, with the black tape, or you could change the color of the tape, and then it makes the white letters. Yeah, the magnet is awesome on these sheets. Yep. And I still buy those art bin things. I mean, I kept buying them, and I have so many extras. Sorry, needed some coffee. Okay, so let me put this over here. Get all our pieces out of the way. Looks like I lost a rhinestone. I found a rhinestone on the side of my toe last night. So obviously they're everywhere in the craft room. All right, let me put that away. And then the envelopes have the same color on the inside. So that'll be pretty. Get all my pieces, and then we will get to it. All right, so I've got my Joy, and like I said, we're going to use Misty Moonlight. I do like the new snowflake set that's coming in the catalog. I just didn't get it yet, so on my first pre-order, I only got a couple of things. Ooh, I really like this. This is going to be good too. It's such a thick font. It'll be good for ombre. Like we can use markers and make maybe the top of it one color and the bottom another color. Like if you use the Misty or the Stamparatus. More ideas on that. And actually that's the only Misty stamping we're doing, Misty Moonlight. Now I want to do some embossing. So these things look like snowflakes or like stars, like, you know, the North Star or something. They're going to be snowflakes for us today. All right, so I need my embossing buddy. I'm going to do this all over. Hey, Gail. That's okay that you forgot. Not a tragedy. And actually, I want to do... So I'm going to cut the Joy out here, and then I have this little bit here that I can stamp my To the World. All right, let me do that first. To the World. All right, and then I want to quick and get some embossing powder on this. Thanks, Gail. Hey, so I had to raise my camera up. Is it at an okay height? Because last week I hadn't realized that it had dropped down so much over the last 2 months. looks good. I'm going to set that off. And then I will go and do some snowflakes. Now I know that most of my area is going to be covered, so I really want to do the corners. And I want to do a big one, maybe a big one there. It is kind of hard to see on this paper where my embossing is, so I'm going to do one corner at a time, just in case I need to add some more. Looks good, Gail? Okay, cool, thanks. All right, and I double hit that. Okay, yep, so I can see it. Now let me funnel this back in, and I will do the other corner and then do all the heat embossing. Very shiny. Hey Terry, this morning we are working on some Christmas cards, and we're on number 2. We did an easy one first, and then we're doing some embossing on this one, and some die cutting, and then we'll have another one that's pretty easy. All right, I'm gonna go and tape this so you can see the snowflakes, yeah? It's always hard to tell with the angle of the light, but believe me, that's on there. All right, I'm gonna run this tape all the way down. Sorry. Okay, now I'm gonna die cut these words, and like I said, we're gonna use this one, so it's a little bit different than the original. So I'm going to glue this down first and then do the die cutting so this can be setting. Okay. All right, just want to hold that down for a second. Now, disclaimer. The die cutting machine that I'm about to show you, I've had for quite a bit. It is a Sidekick, and I got this idea from Peggy because she's like, it's nice to have a little machine next to you for your small words and everything, and I agree. Stampin' Up! Is selling their small one, which is wider than this. So this one I think is like 2.5 inches wide. Yep, 2.5 inches wide. So the Stampin' Up! One is going to be 3.5 inches wide, but that will not be available till later this year. I know it's in the catalog. You can't order it. It's not available yet. Even the big one that they've had. Oh, thanks, Gail. Yeah, this is Glitzberg. Sorry, needed some coffee. The regular size one that they've got in the catalog, that one still not available either. So there's just been some issues. I don't know exactly what. So I like to put a little tape or something. So see how that's going to fit right on there. But actually, I'll use my Post-it note. The thing I have found with this machine, and I mean, no digs on Tim Holtz or anything, but you crank this, it's opposite. So with the Big Shot that I've had for 20 years, you crank it in the direction that, if you want it to go this way, you crank it in that direction. With this thing, it's opposite. So I would think I would crank it this way, but it's not. It's counterintuitive. You got to crank it the opposite way. So that is the only thing I don't like about this. But it is still the good size for desktop work, for a little something, because I keep my Big Shot out in the hall on a dresser, so this works out. And then I'll use the big letters, and I don't need to tape these in place. And then again with the backwards cranking, and I'm sorry this might be shaking a little bit, but that's that. So we've got our pieces, dies, get this back out of the way. But that's a handy little thing. All right, let me put these back before I lose them, and then I can put this in my bin of dies. Okay. So I've got this piece, and I want to mount this, I can't get that up, with some mini glue dots. These are teeny tiny. Now this pack looks different from when you order them, because this comes from one of my paper pumpkin kits. Like every so often they'll, well, maybe it's actually every month, they send us some sort of adhesives. It's either glue dots or the little mini dimensionals, but it's always like, you know, this big. So it's cute. And since they always send you so many extras, I always have extras. All right, so let's get this on here. But Gail, this is what I was saying with the die, that I'm gonna have to make one and show just you, but I'm gonna cut this J off, and that'll be Oi to the World, and that'll be with my, once I get my snowflake set. I think it's gonna be cute, but I will share that just with you later. All right, and then I'm just hand trimming this. And then more mini dimensionals behind this. And I found I really liked it better with like 4 across here. When I first did it, I just did 2 on the ends, and then it really like caved down in the middle, and no saggy bits. You have what, the little machine? Yeah, I know you want the little one. I think it's spendy, and I already have this, so I'm gonna use it. It is difficult to keep remembering that it's backwards. That's the only thing I don't like about that. It's just counterintuitive after using the Big Shot for, you know, all these years. Why would they do that? Why, I mean, it's like the same company that makes the machines. Why would they make the handle backwards on that one? It's, ugh, I feel like they're trying to trick us. All right, let me press this down for a sec. And then we're gonna finish with some rhinestones, which hopefully will stick. And while I'm holding this, I can get rid of my dirty stamps. So I try to get a little more organized every time. I have this tray that I put down to the side, and my intention was to take all my stamps and just put them in this bin, and then I can clean them later, all at once. And then I forget. One more. Okay. Oops, it's gonna escape me. I like it. All right, now rhinestones. See, I try to put bigger ones in the big snowflakes or starbursts, whatever we're gonna call them. As far as I'm concerned right now, they're snowflakes. All right, and then the smaller ones and the small ones. Okay, donezo. I just always like to trim the excess off of my stuff as I use it. So that's number 2. Joy to the World. I like it. Okay. Number 3. Sorry. I started using that Flonase last week, and that helped with my ears, and it helped a little bit with my cough. But I just don't like that stuff up my nose. Ugh. But it's a necessary evil. Alright, card number 3. So I'm going to use the Loyal Leaves. That's a new leaf set from the annual catalog. Had to get it because I'm all about the leaves. So this time I want to use this leaf to make a poinsettia. Now I know we also have a set Rooted in Nature that has like 2 sizes of these leaves. Oh, I just thought of that. Those are both smaller than this. So that I could have 3 sizes of this leaf. I'm gonna have to drag that out and check those, because that would be interesting to build up something like with the 3 different sizes, you know. So for this, I'm just going for not a layered poinsettia, but just, you know, flat. But I still think it looks good. I'm going to use Mary Merlot only because I haven't used that in a long time. And then this other cardstock is Garden Green, and then Very Vanilla. So 5 1/4 by 4, and then I trim this one down 3/16. Okay, so let me put this away. And I thought I had my stamp mounted, but I guess I don't. Nope. So these Missing You's I had stamped from another, I think from when I was doing a swap and I had extras. So I just keep them in there in case I need them later. Any other time, you know. Alright, the long block. Alright, now this one, so the original, I started here because I knew I wanted the greeting over here. So this time I will do it on this side and I'll have the greeting over here, just to show you difference. Okay. So I want this area, this end of the stem to be like in the middle-ish. So let me try to do it this way. All right. So I'm looking over here. I want the words to be over here. So I don't want to overlap. So I'm going to start there. Now I just want to keep moving around and keep that stem kind of in the same place. And this one may not end up exactly the same as my sample, and that's okay. Like as far as how much I'm overlapping, you can make them wider or closer together. Totally up to you. And then I think one more will do it. So I think that's pretty easy, pretty quick for a poinsettia-ish, you know, poinsettia-like flower. All right, then I want to emboss the greeting. So again, this came from Itty Bitty Christmas, Thinking of You at Christmas, and I'm gonna emboss this one in gold. So let's hit him with the embossing buddy and some Versamark. And some gold powder. Quick. Just that little bit of embossing. Now, I have learned I have to let this sit for a minute because if I rub my finger in it, A, it's hot, B, it will smear. Now for the insides, I went to the gold and silver metallic pearls. I really wanted to use my Gilded Gems, but I've used them all. And I've got to use some, you know, put some more on my next order. So we're going to go with these, and they're just smaller. So I thought the Gilded Gems, they're bigger and chunkier, and I thought with this big leaf that would go better, you know, size proportionate. But these will do. I'm just using a bunch of them, which is also completely acceptable. I know it's usually like 3, but I wanted a bigger cluster. And they don't necessarily have to like be neat, but mine end up like that. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. Okay. So these come, yeah, silver and gold in a pack together, metallic pearls. All right, that's not gonna go anywhere. Now for this one, I just mounted this. I gotta be careful on that side with those pearls, or over here as it is. Okay, I'm gonna mount this to the green, garden green. Yeah, I gotta use this Mary Merlot more often. Cherry Cobbler would be like my normal go-to, but the Merlot is a little bit more muted. It's not as red. All right, so let's score this. And then I'm just gonna put dimensionals behind here. And actually, I'm gonna use the leftover bits of these black ones. And that will be it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to pull out my Rooted in Nature set and see, compare the sizes of those leaves to this one, because that just seems like more possibilities to me. And I am actually, there's a new poinsettia coming in the holiday catalog, which I'm getting because as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be perfect for a cigar box. Because the dies that you can get and the papers, of course, everything all together. It's trickery. All right, and I can see I smeared that a little. Ugh. I'm still gonna send it to someone. Okay, there. So here are both of them. So one greeting over here, one over here. I tend to put my greetings on this side, and I don't know why. I think it's just because my eye, you know, like the Z. But I like it over here too. So that is that. So that's the 3 cards we're making. So let me put these here. Snowflake. Well, let's just do one so we can get them all in the picture. Snowflake, thinking of you, poinsettia, and then we did this. And I showed the green one. So do those all show up? So that's that. We're not here for an hour. It was only just under 45 minutes. So I hope that gave you some Christmas card ideas. Next week, we're not going to do Christmas. Next week is really the last week in July. And I'm going to do some summer stuff, some different summer stuff. So thanks for suffering through my technology issues today. And thanks for being here. And have a great weekend. Thank you all. Bye.